Welcome to another edition of SlingPaint Gaming. I am Berto, and it's breakdown time. And we're going to be going over the Y-Wing expansion pack for the Star Wars X-Wing miniatures game by Fantasy Flights. This is very an iconic ship. I mean, take a look at this thing. I mean, you can definitely see the little Astromech, potential R2 unit sitting out there on the top. I mean, this thing is an awesome-looking ship. The cool part about this, the Y-Wing introduces some new cards in here, some new abilities. The Y-Wing it's a bomber class, right? It's the Rebellion's bomber class, and it's an older unit. There's like the B-Wing came out, which was supposed to replace the Y-Wing, but the Y-Wing still, you still see a lot of Y-Wings in action. But the whole concept of this Y-Wing is it's a bomber unit. It's a heavy gun. It's got a lot of secondary weapons, and it's just a phenomenal ship. But because it's got all those guns, there's some negatives to everything. So before we get into it further, let's break this down, and then we'll go into the pilots, and then we're going to actually go into the upgrade cards. So the first thing is first. You get 4 pilot cards. You get this new thing called an Ion token card. Now, it's really not a card. It's more just information. And here's the Ion token. We're going to get to that when we review the secondary weapons. You also get 5 upgrade cards. You get the 2 bases. Target lock, you get 3 shields with this thing. You get some identity tokens. You get a focus, stress, and a critical hit. Here's the actual Y-Wing with its base. Here's the maneuver dial. Now look at these maneuvers, okay? The Y-Wing, because it's a little bit slower, you'll see the 4 and the 3 hard left and hard right are actually red maneuvers. Most all K turns are also red maneuvers, so that's nothing new. But the whole concept of this ship is low and slow. I mean, basically, it's to go small maneuvers and trying not to turn too much. And that's the whole concept of this thing. This thing is like if you had like 1 or 2 of these ships stacked, right, and then let's say you had an A-Wing or a Y-Wing or something else, supporting it, you can let these things do their thing, and they're just going to send a lot of love because they have a lot of secondary weapons, which we'll get into. So that's what you get with the whole entire pack. So the pilots, okay, this is where it gets very interesting. Because if you look at the pilots, pretty much everything is the same across the board here. You get 2 attack dice, 1 agility. Yeah, like, wow, only 1 defensive dice? Yes, you do get 1 defensive dice. But look what you get. You get 5 hull and 3 shields, okay? So you're really stacked as far as the amount of hits you can take. Now, you look at the primary weapon, okay, only 2 attack, but that's where the secondary weapons come into play here. Now, you have 2 unique pilots. You have Horton Salm, right? And he's a skill value of 8. He's got, when attacking at range 2 and 3, you may re-roll any of your blank results. That's huge. That's like a target lock. It's on top of another target lock. You also got Dutch Vander, okay? He's a pilot skill level value of 6. After acquiring a target lock, choose another friendly ship at range 1 or 2. The chosen ship may immediately acquire a target lock. So that allows you, if you're running 1 or 2 Y-Wings or other ships that have secondary weapons, you can send a lot of target locks, give some target lock love for your friendly ships, so they're not spending actions on target locks, and they can spend actions on something else like barrel rolls or focuses or evades. All right. So the unique thing is most times when you have a unique pilot, either 1 or 2 of them actually have a unique elite card, but in this case, every pilot you see here is exactly the same, okay? You get a turret, right? 1 turret upgrade you can have. You can outfit this with 2 torpedo upgrades and 1 Astromech, and it's the same for every single one. Horton Salm is actually a skill point value of 25. Dutch is 23. The Gray Squadron is 20, and the Gold Squadron is 18, okay? Now, those are the pilots. What about the upgrades? So this is where it gets interesting. And I was talking about that Ion token. I'm going to get to that in 1 quick second. Let me just go over the Astromech. Astromech, some more R2 units. So you have a unique, which is R5D8. All right. You have an action, which is basic. Take it as your action. Roll 1 defensive dice on an evade or a focus result to discard 1 of your face down damage cards. So this, you're allowed to actually remove damage cards with this. And your hull value is fixed. So in other words, R5D8 can actually fix your hull, which is great. But the only problem is you can only outfit 1 ship with this. Now, the cool part about all of these cards, you can reuse them with other, with other expansion packs. So if you had an X-Wing, you can outfit R5-D8 with Luke Skywalker. That's the cool part about it. R2 Astromech. This is a non-unique. That means you can have as many as you want of these on one on each ship. So this says you may treat all 1 and 2 speed maneuvers as green maneuvers, which is huge, especially for the Y-Wings, which most everything is white or either red. Secondary weapons. So you get an ion cannon turret, and you get 2 actual proton torpedoes. That's huge. You get 2 of these cards. All right, so Proton Torpedoes, I'm going to get to the ion turret in a second. Proton Torpedoes, I love it. 4 dice just slinging at your opponent. Range 2 and 3. The attack requires a target lock, so you spend your target lock and discard this card, perform this attack. You may change one of your focus results to a critical result, and you get 2 of them. All right? Every Y-Wing can outfit with 2 of them if, points allowing, and it's at 4 points. Ion Cannon Turret, all right, it's 3 attack dice at range 1 or 2, but this is a unique thing. The whole thing with ion cannon turrets is it's not about causing a lot of damage to your ship, to your opponent's ship. It's about ionizing them. Okay, so what is an ionize? All right, well, first it's attack. So it attacks one ship, even out ship outside your firing arc. So this, you can shoot 360 degrees outside of your firing arc, as long as it's in range 1 and 2. It doesn't need to be in that little V-shaped firing arc. It can actually shoot 360 degrees. That is huge. Second, if this attack hits the target ship, so after you roll the dice and they roll defensive dice, the ship suffers 1 damage automatically and receives 1 ion token, and then cancel all the dice results. So if you have 3 hits, ignore it. It's 1 damage and 1 ion token. Now, what does that mean? Okay, an ion token, okay, it says right here in this card that some card abilities, such as the ion turret upgrade, can cause a ship to receive an ion token. A ship with an ion token assigned to it follows these special rules during these phases. So when you just ionized an enemy, during the planning phase, the next planning phase, the owner does not assign a maneuver to the dial. In other words, they don't take the dial and assign a maneuver, because in the activation phase, when you actually move your ship, the owner moves the ship as it was assigned a white 1 forward maneuver. After executing this maneuver, remove all ion tokens from this ship. It may perform actions as normal. In the combat phase, the ship may attack as normal as well. So the whole thing with ion tokens is you just basically disable their maneuvers. All right, so they can't do turns, they can't do anything, they only do 1 straight. Now, why is that huge? Well, if you ionize one of your targets, okay, you can help them run off the map. You can help them run into an asteroid or some debris. You can actually help them run into themselves and onto other ships, or whatever the case would be. You can. The cool part is you're controlling what your opponent does. That's the whole purpose of the whole ion token thing. But you also do get a hit out of it, so that it impairs them, so they can't maneuver out of firing arcs. So if you ionize somebody, the next planning stage, plan your other ships to go around or behind that ionized ship and light them up, because they can still perform attacks as normal and actions as normal after they move that 1 maneuver. But that's what's huge about this. So that's the Y-Wing expansion. I said you got to love the ship. Like I said, there's a purpose for it. If you play with multiple Y-Wings, or maybe just 1 Y-Wing to outfit to help supporting some other ships, it's a great ship. But just like any other ship that you play, understand its strengths and weaknesses. Because of the maneuver, it doesn't have a lot of maneuverability, but understand its strengths, which it has a lot of armament. Anyway, this is another edition of SlingPaint. I want to appreciate your time. Thank you. Like our video, subscribe to our channel, like us on Facebook, and also like us on Twitter, or follow us on Twitter. Again, thanks, guys.